Today I'm going to show you how to set up an AI agent to actually manage your content creation process. Now, if you're making even just a little bit of content, you're probably familiar with having several different ideas all at different stages in their creation process. Now, I put a video out not too long ago showing how to set up an agent to actually manage our content ideation. So we're going to combine that agent with this one and basically allow us to keep up with all these different content ideas all through the use of just this one agent. You can see here it uses the content ideation agent. So I'm going to quickly walk you through what is actually happening in this content ideation agent, and then we can get started setting this management agent up. So the content ideation agent, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it because I have an entire video out for it, but we're interacting with this agent through a Telegram chat, and then we have two agents here. So the first one you can see here actually comes up with a list of pain points or problems that your either ideal client, ideal customer, or just your ideal viewer is actually experiencing, which is very crucial when putting out content, as you want to basically provide value, and the best way to provide value is by solving the problems. So this comes up with the problems, and then this ideas agent uses those problems and it solves those problems framed as if it were you, basically. So this is told to basically just respond as if it's somebody in your own industry. Then we're just sending those content ideas back to ourselves through a Telegram chat. So in order to use this workflow inside of the other agent, we need to make a few changes. I will link a JSON file below. So you just download the JSON file, and then you come into your in account, create a new workflow, and then in these three icons right here, you can select import from a file, and then you just select that JSON file. The first of which is we can get rid of these two Telegram triggers, or the Telegram trigger here and the Telegram node here. Just delete those two. And the first step we're going to add is when executed by another workflow. We're going to select this, and then we're going to define using the fields below. So we're going to add a field here, and then we're going to do content topic as the name. I'm going to leave it as a string, and then we can click out and drag that into the first agent here. So we do actually need to edit this prompt here. You can see we are saying you should list the problems that you face and then prioritize the problems about the topic. However, this topic was from the Telegram chat, and we actually need to get the topic from this node right here when triggered or when executed from another workflow. So to do that, we're going to go into this first agent here, and then we can replace the topic here by just deleting that and then dragging in the content topic. Everything else we can just leave the same inside of this agent, and then we're going to go back and go into the ideas generated agent here, and we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to execute the previous nodes, and then we need to get rid of this topic variable here, and we can drag in the content topic, which is going to be on the bottom here when executed by another workflow. You can see both the variables here are green, which means they are working correctly. You can click out of this agent, click save, and now we should be good to go. So now that we set up the content ideation agent, I'm actually going to walk you through the content management agent. So this content management agent is going to be using the ideation agent as well as some other tools that I'll walk you through in just a minute. So it's going to start with a trigger from Telegram. That's how we're going to be interacting with this agent, is through a Telegram chat. Now, if you don't know how to set this up, check out one of my previous videos where I've gone more in depth into actually setting up a Telegram trigger, Telegram bot, as well as the chat model and a memory tool here. So I'll go over this prompt briefly here. We're using a tools agent, defining the prompt below. And then we're just saying that you're a project manager, you're in charge of managing my content. You have access to the following tools. So get ideas based on their status. And then we are listing the status that the video ideas can actually have. This is all inside of Notion, which I will show you in just a second how to set that up. And then the second one is going to create a video idea. This creates a new page inside of Notion. We are saying to put it under the scripted section. We'll fill this in later. This will make more sense in just a minute. When we're creating, you can enter the date to be published, which I'll show you how to do. And then I'm just going to skim over this. This doesn't make much sense right now, but then we're giving it the following information that it should fill in. And then lastly, the content ideation agent, who are just saying you should call this if you want to brainstorm more ideas for content. And then we're giving it the prompt, which is sent from the Telegram trigger here. It's just the message that we are sending in. So to walk you through the Notion setup, I'll set up the ideation agent here first. So you're just going to select add a tool, call in workflow, and then show you what I've done in this one. So I just named it content ideation, call this tool to come up with content ideas. The source is going to be our database for N8N, and then you're going to select it from the list. So whatever you've named this tool here, you can see the name at the top left here. So whatever you've named it, select that name in here. And then this content topic is the variable that we actually set in this executed by another workflow. So you can see we set the input here for content topic, which is a string. We're just filling in that information here. So to do that, we just set it to expression, type from AI, and then say topic for content. So it just tells this AI agent to pass in a topic into this agent to come up with ideas. So now we can get started setting up the Notion accounts here. So if you're familiar with Notion, even if you're not, you just create a Notion account, and then I'll walk you through the rest. So if we head over to Notion, I'll just open up a new page here. You can call it whatever. And then the body of the page here, we can actually set up this. So this is where we're actually going to start creating that database. So you can see it says press / for commands. Then we're going to type a database. And then we're going to go to a board view for a database. So we're going to select this board view here, and it'll open it up with a page like this. So this untitled is where we're actually going to name the database, which will be important later. So you're going to want to name it something you remember, or you can just leave it open. You can come check. But I'm going to add, just call it video, just so I know that this is not my actual database, but you might want to call it something more appropriate. But this is just the database storing all of our video ideas. And then you can see some different progress or status stages here. So to edit these, we're going to select add a new page. It doesn't really matter where. Again, we can open the page. Mine opens in the side peek here. And then you can see at the top where we can name the page, select the status. Assign, we're just going to kind of leave alone. And then you can enter the kind of the body of the page here. But we're going to go up to status and select on status. Select edit property, and then you can see these different stages here, but it doesn't really matter too much. So the not started, we might want to click on, and we can rename that to something like idea. So maybe we just have the idea for the content. We just throw it in that section there. Maybe it's scripted, so we can add scripted here. Or we could add another one and say maybe it's scripted and we planned it. So you can click on them and change the color too if you'd like. I'm going to move this under scripted. After it's planned, we could say filmed. So I'm going to select add another one here and do filmed. Maybe it's we recorded it. recorded. I can add that under there. And then maybe the complete we want to change to posted. Okay, so now once you have your kind of list of ideas here, or the different status you want to actually have in your creation process, you can click off of status, and then we're going to actually add another property here. We're going to type in a date, and then you can kind of change the format of this. I'm going to change it to relative just because that's what's most helpful for me, but you can kind of look through these, select what you want, and then we should be good to go as far as creating a page. So we can close out of this page, and then I'm going to just add a fake title. This will be the title of the idea. I'm going to just add a date. So let's say I want to publish it tomorrow. I may add the date for tomorrow. So you can see these pop up here, and the nice thing about Notion is that you can just kind of drag them between. So if I have an idea here, maybe I scripted it, I can just drag it across to there. So one thing I'm quickly going to change is I want it to display the date here. So to do that, I'm just going to go up to these three dots, go down to properties. Assign, I'm just going to hide. It doesn't really matter. Personally, I don't use it, but I'm going to change the date to visible, and now you can see that it shows us the date of that idea. So I'm just going to add example to title 2. Select the date maybe for Friday. Just add a couple examples here. And then, so you can see, I'm going to copy this database title here. So this is the title of the database. Go down a couple lines, type another / and we're going to type a calendar. So we're going to select a calendar view for a database. So you can see this is wanting to create a new database, which we don't want to do. We want to reference the database that we just created. So to do this, we're going to link to existing database here. And then I'm just going to paste in that title that I just made. And then I'm going to select the existing database that we just created. And now we have a different view of that same database. So everything that we add here will update down here. So for example, if I added, you can see the two ideas that we have for Thursday and Friday. So this is the same as the board view up here where you can drag back and forth. You can also drag these back and forth as well. And then really quickly, I'm going to set up a different view here. I'm going to do that by clicking the three dots, going to properties, and I'm going to show the status. So the I is unchecked, and now we can see the status of the video's ideas on our calendar as well as the date on our board view here. So personal preference, I'm going to click that again, edit the layout of the calendar, and then I'm going to change it from month to week. Now I can see, just changes the view of the calendar, but for me that's easier to see, but it's just personal preference. So now that we've created that, we actually need to link it to Ideation. And to do this, we're going to go to the top left here. It'll give you this menu. I'm going to go down all the way down to settings, and then open up the settings. We're going to go to connections here on the left side. Go down and we're going to go to develop or manage integrations. So this will open up a website. You can see I already have 2 integrations made here, but we're going to select a new integration. We're going to add a name here. So I'm just going to give it a name. We're going to select the workspace that we want it to connect to. And then I'm going to select save. And then you're going to go to configure integration settings here. So everything here we can just leave the same. You can change this if you'd like, but and then you're going to show this integration secret, and then you're going to copy this, and then what we can do is close out of this, go back to Ideation, and then we're going to add a tool for Notion, and then you're going to create a new credential and then paste in that integration secret here. So now that we've connected our Notion account to N8N, there's actually one more step we need to do for that database. So if I go back to my Notion database here, click out of my settings. So once we're back on that page that we just created, we actually need to add or have N8N have access to this page, which includes the database, which is nice. But to do this, once you're on that page that we were just on, we're going to go up to the top right and select these three dots, go down to connections here, and then we're going to select the connection that you've just made. So mine, I'm going to do N8N, select confirm, and now we should be able to go back to N8N and actually access that database through N8N. So I've made two tools here. The first one gets different ideas based on the status. So for example, I want to say, what ideas do I have scripted already? So I might be sitting down to film, and I could have like 10 ideas under plan. So I could say, what are my ideas that I have planned to film? And it'll list them out. I can go through and pick which ones I want to film that day, or whichever ones are, scheduled to be published sometime soon. So that's where this tool comes in handy. So to set that up, you're going to add a tool here, select Notion, and then we can actually, I'll walk you through setting this up. We're going to do set to manually for the description, and then do get Notion ideas based on status. Select your Notion account here. The resource is going to be a database page since we're only referencing that database. Operation is going to be get many, and then the database, you're going to select whatever database that you've just connected. So mine is called Video Content Management. And then the filter, I believe, I'm going to just delete this really quick. I'm going to copy this. I'll show you that in a second. The filter, okay, that is set to none. So the filter we're going to do set to build manually. And then we're going to add a condition. And then we're going to filter by the status. So this, if the status equals, and then we're going to set to expression. I'm going to paste this in. We're going to do from AI. So you can just copy what's on the screen. We're going to filter by the status of idea. So if I go back to the prompt, which I'll do in just a second, we actually need to tell the agent what different status options I have available. So I'm going to show you how that looks. So if I do fixed, it literally lists the status ideas that we've made inside of Notion. So you see that the idea, scripted, planned, etc. Those are just listed right here. So I want this to be filled in by the AI, and how we do this is we do from AI and then the status of idea, but we actually have to list the different options for the AI to fill in. So we're going to go back to the agent, and then that is where I'm listing out the different status that we've created. So I'm going to make sure that these are the same. So idea, scripted, planned, filmed, which I changed to recorded. So this is recorded, and then posted. Okay. So you're just going to make sure that all of these match the different status that you've created here on this top row. And it's just saying that it should, pick from these options. So that should be good. We are filtering based on the status here. And then we're going to make another tool to actually create a database idea or a page in our database. So we're going to add another Notion tool. And then I'm going to walk you through how I've configured this. Set the description to manually, create a video idea. The Notion account here, database page again. The operation for this one is going to be create a page. Again, we're going to select the database. Mine is Video Content Management. The title we're going to do from AI. You can see that, how I set that up. Make sure it's set to expression. And then the status. I'm going to delete these and show you how I've set this up. To copy these just to make it easier for myself when showing you this. Okay. So this is how your page, I think, should look. The property, going to select status, and then we're going to select scripted. You'll see why in just a minute. You can change this depending on how you want this set up, but I'm going to select scripted. So every time an idea is created through this agent, it's going to go into this scripted category. So another useful thing we can do is if we scroll back up to this property section, we can select add another property, and we can add a date. So this date we're going to set to expression. I'm going to copy this and just copy what I've put here. So we're going to do it from AI, date to be published at. That's just the date that we want the content to be published. So if I go back over to my agent prompt, you can see I've included that section here where it says when creating an idea in Notion, if the user enters a date to be to publish the post by, fill in the date, otherwise leave it empty. So if I save that, what that looks like is when an idea is created, it fills in that date, and then that will actually show up on your calendar here. And then for the blocks, I'm going to add a block. I'm going to leave it as a paragraph, and then I'm going to do from AI, and I'm going to type body of the Notion page, and that is what we are prompting it in that prompt to actually fill in. So go back to the agent, open up the prompt, create an idea, should be under the scripted section and markdown, fill in the body of the page, please use the following information. So we're telling it to, in that paragraph, the body of that page that we're telling it to fill in, which in Notion is, if I open up the page, that is this section where you can type everything in here. I'm telling it to fill in that section with an outline for the content idea, a title, and then an intro or a hook. You can kind of change these on what is most helpful for you when actually scripting out different ideas. So that should be it as far as setting up everything for the tools and the agent and everything. I'm going to select save and then turn it from inactive to active, and then we can actually get into testing. So I might want to list ideas under scripted. So you can see you have 3 ideas here. So you can see it lists the public, exploring, future of AI agents. The publication date is March 1st. And then it lists the other 2 ideas as well. And then maybe I want to create an idea for ultimate content agent. So you want that March 2nd. So you can see that just populates in here. You can see the relative, so that's Sunday. If I go to my calendar view here, that idea that it's just created for Sunday. You can see it gives us the title at the top, the title here, an outline, and then an intro or hook. So you can kind of fill in those how you want, whatever you need for scripting it, and then you can kind of look through and edit as you need. But overall, very helpful. And we can even interact with the agent that I created the last time. So create content ideas for AI agents. So the content ideation is actually prompted to give me fitness, Instagram fitness post. So that's kind of funny, but if you're using these together, you obviously will have the prompts matching for the agents. So if I go back over to this ideation, it's giving me, this is framed as if online fitness coach, but you'll obviously have the matching and have them, kind of all be organized accordingly. But one thing I'll show really quickly is, let's say I want create an idea for number 7. So you can see what I did here was I just said create an idea for number 7. So with that memory tool, it can actually go back into the previous message that it just generated and look at that seventh idea that it was created, and actually go and create a database page of that idea inside of my Notion database. So you can see if I open up that page, it scripted everything out, and it knew exactly what post to go off of because it uses the memory tool to actually reference that and then create an idea fully scripted for me to go and edit, and then ready for me to film and then publish right after. So that's how you go about creating an AI agent to actually manage your entire content creation process, from ideation to scripting to managing what stage in the process the idea is actually at. We linked the agent to our Notion database to manage all of our content ideas. And yeah, if you have any questions, drop in the comments below. If you got anything from this video, feel free to leave a like or subscribe. And yeah, that's all I have for you today. Have a good one.